So what you guys are looking at here is the Super Mario World Lego sets. This is the newest of the larger Mario themed Lego sets that have been coming out in recent years. And this one caught my eye especially because Yoshi has always been my favorite Nintendo character. Whenever he is a playable character in a game, I almost always play as him. And when I saw that this set was out, and especially that Yoshi's feet move in this, so it looks like he's actually running around like he would in the game. I mean, it was a no-brainer to pick this thing up. If we look in the front here, this is a more clear depiction of it. And yeah, I've made videos of pretty much every other large Nintendo / Mario themed Lego set that's come out lately. So, of course, naturally, I'm gonna have a video about this one as well. And for these types of videos, I don't do a step-by-step guide for those who may not have seen any of the previous ones that I've done, but more or less, I'm just gonna show you guys how this comes together in the major steps. So without further ado, let's unbox this thing and then get to building. All right, so let's begin with the unboxing. We've got two strips of tape on the top here. It'd be easier if I just come at it this way. I try not to ruin the boxes when I do these, but sometimes that's easier said than done. I'm probably not cutting in a safe way, so don't duplicate what I'm doing at home. So this set is much smaller than the other ones that I've done. Let's see how many bags we're working with. Whoa. Is that the book that fell? Probably. Yep, that's what it was. This is a pretty big book, actually. Alright, so we got a decent amount of different bags that we'll be working with here. But that is the contents of the box. Let's get all this laid out. So this is all that I am working with here. Just 15 bags total. But what's interesting is you've got some of these smaller bags here, like 12 and 13. These are their own bags. These aren't like multiple, there's not like there's multiple bag 12s or multiple bag 13s. This is the one and only bag 12 and the one and only bag 13. This one just looks like a bunch of cosmetic stuff for Mario, and same thing over here. They probably could have combined these, but I'm wondering if they have to meet some sort of quota with how many bags are in a set. Because then, like, you have these, and then you've got things like bag 3, which have little bags inside of them, but are large overall. So maybe the Lego designers who design these sets need to have a certain amount of bags for it to be considered a complete set. I don't know, but either way, even though we're still working with 15 bags, not including those two over there, I've got my work cut out for me, so let's get to building, starting with bag number 1. All right, so bag 1 is now done, and we basically just have a starting point for the base for the entire thing. And what's interesting here is that it has these 4 rubber feet on the bottom, which I've never seen in any other sets quite like this before, any other big ones, which I guess is to keep it more stationary. Although, to be fair, these don't really keep it that stationary, because these are basically just rubber wheel parts, from my understanding, if I can get it to focus. Yeah, it's basically just rubber wheel parts. So, but yeah, that's all that's there for bag 1. Now on to bag 2. And here we are done with bag 2. On the front, we just were working more towards the green grassy background that is on Yoshi's feet right there. This is like the very, very background part, the more lime green component of it. And then in the back, we started work on what I believe to be the crank mechanism. This is what's sticking out right now, and how it spins, although I'm sure this will probably go up here or something, maybe. Well, I don't know if it'll rest in between here necessarily, but yeah, I don't really know how this is going to go together yet, but this is where we're at. This will be where the handle for the crank is, I assume anyway. But yeah, something I did find out though is that this set is Lego Mario and Luigi compatible. I don't remember if it was Peach compatible as well. Let's check real quick. Yes, it is. Okay, so this works with all the Lego figures as well, so that'll be interesting to see what happens with that once it's all done. So let's continue on to bag 3. All right, guys, so bag 3 is now done. We're about 20% of the way there if we're going by the bag quantity. And at this point, we have a somewhat functioning crank mechanism. You see we have a handle in place. We got things connected here, so we got a mechanism for Mario to jump. I imagine that's what this is, because all that we have right now is an up and down piston-like motion when we crank. And this is achieved, if we look on back here, because as the crank is turned, the long white piece here ends up going up and down. Only the bottom rotates, really, and since it's on a pivotal axis with this blue peg, only the up and down motion is transferred, which is pretty cool. So yeah, that's the highlight from this step. On to bag 4. Bag 4 is now done, and what happened was we have both of Yoshi's feet not only built, but now also attached. So with the crank, they move up and down and forward and back. And the way that happens is when they are risen and lowered, they move forward and back because they are tilting upon these green, the green ball and socket joints. We had the sockets installed back with bag 3, and in bag 4, they just loosely, well, not loosely, they're locked in, but they're able to move in such a way to allow for this up and down motion, which swings the outermost part of the feet, which is the shoes, back and forth as it goes up and down. So I think I was wrong before in saying that Mario jumps along with this, which in reality that wouldn't really make sense. But I was just kind of spitballing. Either way, we have Yoshi's feet moving now, and this is the mechanism that makes it all happen from the front end. So let's keep moving on now with bag 5. All right, so bag 5 is now done, and as you can see, it was pretty much just working on the construction of Yoshi, beginning that up. We have the shell right there, and the part of his body that would connect to the feet there. So yeah, that's where we're at right now. So let's continue on with bag 6. Okay, bag 6 is now done, and Yoshi has a hand. So now, when we move him up, he's got that going for him. Not only that, but we also have Yoshi's body actually connected to the system now. So I guess he jumps and moves like this, which I guess makes sense for how he would actually move in the game. I don't know. I think the motion that I was picturing with this was either just them jumping or just them moving their feet, which doesn't make sense. So yeah, where we're at right now, the intended motion seems to be for Mario and Yoshi to be moving up and down while Yoshi's feet and arms move, which is pretty cool. It looks like we'll be getting started on Yoshi's head next with bag 7. So let's do it. This is all that got done with bag 7. It's literally just a start of making Yoshi's head. So not much to really say about that. Let's just move on to bag 8. Okay, so bag 8 is done, pretty much working near entirely on the back of Yoshi's head here. There is a spinning mechanism involved with the construction of this set. I don't exactly know what's going to happen with this yet, though, to give you more information. But yeah, we have a spinning, something rotational is going on here. There's also this wheel that probably has something to do with it as well. Let's see if we'll find out more in bag 9, which looks to be Yoshi's tongue, is what we'll be starting construction on with this. Guys, we have Yoshi. Bag 9 was by far the most productive one yet in terms of actually getting stuff situated here. So, I mean, as you see, Yoshi's head is done and everything is attached in that regard. But let's go to the back real quick. This, if we turn it around again, is Yoshi's tongue. So that's what that spinning mechanism we were building in bag 8 was. That was Yoshi's tongue. And what's interesting is it pushes the nose up when you twist it. Now, I don't know if this knob is going to be accessible from the back once it's actually built. We'll see how they end up doing that. But the rotation here, it literally just twists it. And the part that pushes the nose up is, let me see if I can get it in focus here. This red peg pushing up against this gray brick here. You see, that's the only thing that's keeping it pushed up. But once it goes past the brick, at this point, the nose goes down. So yeah, that's where we're at right now. And this is what Yoshi looks like moving by himself. Even the head moves back and forth, which is interesting. I did not expect that, but again, I guess that's part of the animation. And the way they make that work is with the up and down motion, you'll notice this rubber band here, which, by the way, was probably the easiest rubber band I've ever put on when building a Lego set. Usually they have you finagling them through tight spaces and it can be a pain, but with this one that wasn't the case. If we operate it here, the up and down motion, you can see the tension of the rubber band is changing as we go up and down. And it is hitting this right there. And I do, which I don't know if that's supposed to happen. It's probably fine, but something to pay attention to. Yeah, I don't really know how else I could avoid it because that's just so tight and everything is in their specific way. So, yeah, but that's where we're at right now. So let us continue with bag 10, where it looks like we'll be working with the front scenery now to go in front of this, so like this area. Let's get to it. Okay, so as you can see, bag 10 is now done. We have the foreground all done and installed. So now, with bag 11, we'll be starting work on Mario, so let's get to it. So, bag 11 is now done, and yeah, this is supposedly gonna turn into Mario. Don't exactly understand how that's gonna happen, but I suppose we'll find out more with bag 12, which, might I add, is just this. That's it. Okay, so with bag 12 done, I'm starting to see this more looking like Mario now. It's coming along. I mean, look, bag 12 was pretty much just getting his hat in place. So let's just keep continuing on with bag 13, where, judging by the pieces inside, we'll be working with probably his face, I imagine, and his mustache. This is another small one, so It'll be real quick. All right, so bag 13 is now done, and I was right with the work on Mario's face being the next step here. I've also got a bit more of the hair going and his mustache as well. So let's continue. We're in the home stretch now. Bag 14 out of 15 up next. With bag 14 done, Mario is in a near completed state. As you see, he not only has an arm, but also his overalls are pretty much done as well. So now, let us do the final bag of this set, bag 15. Well, everybody, messy hair and facial hair later, bag 15 is now done. And with that marks the end of this build. And while this is quite different than the other LEGO sets that I've done on the channel before, it's still really cool nonetheless. The biggest difference here is that the focal point is truly the front of this. The back is less than visually appealing, to put it lightly, but if you're mechanically inclined and you like knowing how or discovering how different mechanisms and whatnot come together to make certain motion happen, then it can be kind of mesmerizing to watch, I'm not gonna lie. But the thing is, there really isn't anything to the back of this design-wise, unlike some of the other sets that I've made videos of before, like the NES set, for example, that even on the TV, it has the protrusion out like most tube TVs back in the day had, which is just a very nice attention to detail. They could have just kept it flat, but they didn't. Whereas, like I said, with this, there's really only one correct way to display it, and that's in the front here. But they really did a great job of making the front look beautiful. The 16-bit sprite style works incredibly well with the LEGO style in that all the pieces are just actual rectangles or squares that come together to make this. So that was perfect. It was perfectly done there. And speaking of, how does Mario actually attach to the set as a whole? Well, if you remember those two those two gray pieces right behind Yoshi's eyes that have the holes in them, that's where Mario anchors in with two cross-shaped posts, and the posts with the cross on them. And those posts not only help anchor Mario in, but are also responsible for the up and down motion that we see here. And that's another thing that I'm going to discuss here, is just all the different motion that's involved with this set. It's incredibly impressive what they were able to make happen given the limitations of the LEGO build system. So the way that Mario moves up and down is with these rubber cross connectors. I'll call them that because they have the cross pattern on them, and that's how it's actually connected to Yoshi, which, as a reminder, is the main motion that is caused by moving the crank. Yoshi is essentially responsible for all the motion here. So that includes when Yoshi moves up and down with the crank, it pushes those posts that are holding Mario up as well, so that he also has the up and down motion to him. Because like you can see, he doesn't constantly move like how Yoshi does. Yoshi is always in motion when the crank is turning. There are very slight intervals where Mario is actually not moving at all, and that's when Yoshi is going down and reaches the bottom and then back up to push Mario back up. Now, how about Yoshi's head? Because Yoshi's head moves side to side as the body moves up and down. And that's accomplished with that wheel and ramp system that I briefly touched upon earlier, and I wasn't exactly sure what role it was going to play. It makes total sense now. The ramp is responsible for what moves, or for allowing Yoshi's head to move outward, and the rubber band is the constant tension force that keeps pulling Yoshi's head back inward more towards Mario. And then, of course, we have the cape. If you notice, as Mario moves, the cape also comes in and out. And that works in a very similar way to the head moving back and forth, except without a wheel and ramp system. Instead, that system is run through
Again, the up and down motion of Yoshi, but that up and down motion causes a couple couplers to move. I don't know how to describe what this motion would be. I think it's rotational. Just it rotates a few degrees or so to cause the outward pushing that we see, and leads to the cape to move outward like that. And something that I actually did not think about, but I was watching another YouTuber who did a similar type of review on this, although he didn't show any of the building like I did. The cape can actually be removed. Let me carefully do this for you here. Cape is just off Mario now, so it gives you an extra options to mess around with, because now it's as if Mario didn't have the feather equipped and was still riding Yoshi. So that was a very nice attention to detail piece. I didn't even think about that when I was building it, so I gotta give props to, I forgot the channel name, but there will be a link in the description to the video if you want to check it out. But yeah, that is the build and pretty much everything it has to offer. Oh, and before I forget, just like every other Mario or Lego Mario set, this set does have support for the Lego Mario, Luigi, and Peach figurines, although they all do the exact same thing. I tried them out, and you guys can see on the screen right now that they all do the same thing. Although it is cool, they all say "Hello Mario" at the start, because it's Mario is the one that's on the screen, and it's just him going through the course with Yoshi, just eating a berry, grabbing a dino coin, and then crossing a checkpoint. The level never finishes, and the same music loops over and over again. So it's a nice little Easter egg sort of thing, but that's kind of about it. It's not as cool as, in my opinion, the Bowser one was the coolest, where you actually have to defeat him, or well, you can defeat him just by stomping on him with the Lego figurines. That was by far the coolest implementation of the Lego figurines so far, in my opinion. But yeah, still a cool Easter egg nonetheless, and it's triggered by the motion of the whole system when it moves, because Mario doesn't move on the Lego screens when Yoshi and Mario here are not in motion, so you have to crank it to get them going. But yeah, oh, that and the tongue, can't forget that. But yeah, that's pretty much everything there is to say about this set. It is really cool. It's one of the more budget-friendly Lego Mario, or one of the more budget-friendly, bigger sets from Nintendo. So if that's something that's interesting to you, or that would interest you, I highly recommend you check it out. Again, this was not a sponsored video by any means, but just something really cool that I wanted to share with you guys. Oh, and it is worth noting the extra pieces involved. This is everything. Most of it is the single tile pieces with a few connectors here and there, and they did actually provide you a spare tire for the wheel mechanism that allows Yoshi's head to move back and forth. And of course, the infamous removal tool. I wish that they gave you a few more of the flat pieces. Not that I ended up losing any, but I feel like those are pretty important, especially in this set. So yeah, one critique would be that I definitely think that they should have given a few more of those as spares, but regardless, they do have the courtesy of giving you extra pieces, which of course is greatly appreciated. So with that, thank you all very much for watching. Hope you enjoyed this video. And where am I? Oh, that's convenient. Dear visitor, Yoshi. Oh, it translated below. Welcome to the land of the Yoshis, or Dinosaur Land. The only way out is by collecting 5 dino coins. Well, how the heck am I supposed to do that?
They fall at random times, so be ready. Great. Hint, listen out for the music. You might be turned into an egg if you're not careful, so good luck. So let me get this straight. I'm in this place I've never been before, surrounded by dinosaurs, where my only way out is by finding these 5 coins that are going to fall whenever they feel like it, and until then, I run the risk of being turned into an egg. What the heck, man? When's the music going to start? That could not have been more perfectly timed, huh? Oh shoot, they're falling. Ooh, almost missed that one. Boom. All 5. So, does that mean I get to leave now? Hello? Wait, what's going on? What's happening to Dinosaur Land? Where am I going? Ah! Yoshi, how could you, man? After all the races we've won in Mario Kart together, after all the parties we've gone to in Mario Party together, heck, even after all the galaxies we've visited together in Super Mario Galaxy 2. You thought that was the way to thank me? You could have at least told me where I was going first. Anyway, guys, as I was saying before happened, thank you all very much for watching. I hope you all enjoyed this video, and remember, stay cool, everybody.